Once you start paying yourself consistently from your business, what do you do next? This is a question that I've had several clients asking me lately because they found that they made some changes to their business. They're able to pay themselves a consistent paycheck, which is amazing. It's an amazing thing to do because so many business owners are not able to pay themselves consistently. So if you've done this, give yourself a little pat on the back. But they asked myself, okay, now what? What should I do next? Because I'm paying all my bills, maybe I'm hitting the sort of basic savings goals that I have. And sometimes I think we're trying to juggle, do I keep growing my business? Do I work harder, quote unquote? Or do I just stay where I'm at and stay content with the paycheck that I have? And to that I say there is no one size fits all answer, but I want to help you think through how to answer that question for yourself in this episode. But before I dive in, spoiler alert, I do want to tell you that I think my answer for most of you would be we need to be working towards building our net worth. And so sometimes to build your net worth, you might even be able to build it faster with the right business structure, with an optimized profitability from your business. You might be able to build wealth that much faster and be able to do some of the things in your life that you do. And so before we jump in, I think that that's just one thing I want to plant the seed in your head, because a lot of women will tell me, I don't necessarily want to grow my business farther because it's automatically going to mean that I have to work more, or I'm overwhelmed at the idea of having a team and that scares me. So therefore I'm not going to do that and I'm just going to stay small. Or the idea of managing that much money is a lot and I don't know if I can do it, and therefore I'm just going to stay small. And so I'm not saying that you have to choose to to grow your business farther or make more money, but I do think that depending on where you're at in my overall framework for building wealth as a CEO, it might actually help you to achieve your goals faster. The first thing I think you need to sit down and think through are your goals. So your goals for your business and your money and your life. And if you are married, I think that you need to be having a conversation about all of these things with your spouse, and you need to have an equal say in the conversation about what these goals are and how you are going to achieve them. Because how many women have I seen who will defer money conversations and money goals to their husbands because they say, it's just not for me, I'm not good at this stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And hopefully if you've been around for a while, that I call BS on all of that. And hopefully you can learn from this podcast how to, quote, be better at money stuff. But I think that it's really important to go back to your goals. One of the things when I ask people, why are you in business? What's the purpose of your money? A lot of people can't answer that question. And so I've done, multiple episodes on how to set your goals. And so I'm sure that we can find one to link in the description here to help you think through that. But I think that is the first thing, is to anchor back into why did you start your business? What kind of impact do you want to make both on your clients, on your community, also on your family, and on your life? But I think that anchoring back into that first is really important, because what I see a lot of people doing when their income from their business increases is we have lifestyle creep. This happens when people have W-2 jobs and they get raises. And if they're not intentional about getting a raise from their W-2 job, then the money automatically gets spent on who knows what. You get more DoorDash, or you spend more stuff on house stuff or clothes or whatever, which is not inherently bad. But if it's not in alignment with your goals, and if it's not in alignment with the things that you really care about putting your money towards, then I think it can be a waste of your money. So we don't just automatically want to increase your lifestyle before or without thinking about what your overall goals are. So when it comes to money, I think that one of the important things to sit down as you have these conversations, whether it's with your spouse or just with yourself, but asking yourself, what is the vision you have for your life specifically around money? How much money do you want to have in the bank? What kind of lifestyle would you like to lead? And how can your business support you in that lifestyle? What kind of experiences do you want to have? What kind of impact do you want to have? And what does that mean for the amount of money that you need to make from your business in order to have that impact, right? And so sitting down and being super clear about what that means, and also at the same time, what that doesn't mean, right? Maybe you really care about traveling a lot with your family while your kids are little or like still living at home with you, but you don't care about a fancy car, which is totally me, right? And so therefore, when we think about how much money we want, I'm not going to budget, $1,000 a month for a car payment or whatever. I'm going to budget more for things like travel. So I think when we expect to be able to spend the max amount of money in every category, that's when I think things like money goals can just feel so much harder to achieve, because to spend a lot in every category of life just takes so much more financial resources, and you may not even care about some of those things. The other thing that I think is really important is asking yourself whether you want to be what I call work optional. I think a commonality that I see across every client that I have is when I ask them about what their top goals are, they tell me, I want financial freedom and I want time freedom. And what does that even mean? Right? And so that's why I think it's important to think about your goals. But like, what does it mean to be financially free? And where is that money going to come from? Are you saying that you want to be financially free and you want your business to generate an income without you having to work in it? Or are you saying that you want to put money from your business into other investments that generate an income that pay you so that you don't have to work anymore? Like, getting specific about what that actually looks like. And then time freedom, what does that mean? How are you going to spend your time? What would you like to be doing? I think that for a lot of entrepreneurs, we talk about like retirement is not necessarily something that resonates because people will tell me, I don't ever want to retire. I love what I do. I want to keep doing it forever. But you at the same time don't want to be boxed into a corner by having to work from your business, being stuck on the cash flow hamster wheel because you don't have money in the bank that you can rely on if your business stops working. And so building up a retirement fund or other investments, I think is really important depending on what your definition of financial freedom and time freedom is. So now I want to give you a little bit of help in terms of thinking about what to do next tactically once you're able to pay yourself consistently. So this is the framework that I like for my clients to work through. We think about building wealth. So step one in that framework is to pay yourself, obviously. So if you're listening to this, you probably have already checked that one off. So by being able to pay yourself, that means that your business is making enough in profits, in revenue to pay all of your business expenses and to have profits left over to where you can also fund your living expenses. So you are cash flow positive in all aspects of your life. You're not running into debt or running up any more debt, and you're able to just be cash flow positive, right? So that's step one. And then what you do after that kind of depends on what your vision is, what your goals are. But the next thing that I like for people to focus on is what I would call building financial stability. So that is where we're going to build up our savings accounts, build up your business emergency fund, your personal emergency fund, make sure that you've paid off debt, paid off your high interest credit cards, things like that, I think is really important to do next because those are the things that are going to help you to reduce your overall cash flow needs, meaning if you don't have to make a lot of debt payments anymore, that reduces the amount of money that you need from your business in the first place. And then if you have savings accounts built up, then if something happens, you don't have to go into debt again because you've got that cash buffer sitting there so that if something happens and you're not able to pay yourself for a couple months out of your business, you've got the cash sitting there and you don't have to take on any more debt. So that would be step two. And I think that realistically for a lot of people targeting around 100K in total savings between your business, personal savings goals, and even sometimes debt payoff, like can quickly add up to 100K or more in cash, which sounds like a lot of money. But if you have a nice, healthy, profitable, growing business, you will hit it a lot faster than you think with an intentional plan. Then the third step beyond this is retirement and investing. And so this is where we are building our net worth beyond just your business. So your business by default has a value in it that you could potentially have like a bank lend you money against the value of your business. If you think of your business as an asset, like I like to include it in my net worth calculations. But if we want to truly be work optional or financially free, I think that we've got to start prioritizing investing outside of our business for a lot of reasons, primarily to diversify your income sources so you're not solely reliant on your business. And I also just think that you can, in a lot of cases, compound your wealth faster if you can have more things, more income streams working toward you. Obviously, if you know without beyond a shadow of a doubt, like if I can put $100,000 into my business and out pops $1 million, like do that all day, every day until it doesn't work anymore. A lot of people maybe haven't necessarily created that system yet. It's something you're still working on. And so it's nice to build up other assets outside of your business. I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other day who I know has over a $2 million net worth, who has a very successful business that makes multi-six figures in profits every year. And she told me, and this is where it's really hard for me not to like give people unsolicited advice. So I'm giving the advice via this episode. But I didn't give it to her. But she doesn't have a retirement account. Like she doesn't have any retirement set up for her business. I think she has some money in there, but not a ton. That would be one of my like key pieces of advice, is that especially when you have a business that is making a good amount of money, That means you're probably paying a lot of taxes. I think that having at least some investment, some of your money going into a retirement account is good no matter who you are for a variety of reasons. One, for her, it would probably help her a lot with her tax bill because you can do pre-tax deductions, meaning you reduce your taxable income now, and then you get to put money into your retirement accounts that grow over time. The other reason is what I like to call my oh crap fund. If you're my client, I say something different, but for purposes of the podcast and YouTube powers that be, I will say oh crap. It's your oh crap emergency fund, meaning I like to have a minimum amount at least of money going into my retirement accounts just so that when I'm in retirement, I know I'm going to have at least $1 million built up in there over time so that if all else fails, if my business fails, if my marriage fails, and my husband isn't there to give me an income, I know that I have that in my name that I can fall back on in retirement, because the number of people, especially women, who end up in poverty when they're in retirement is astounding. I think most of us have probably heard the stats on people not having enough money set aside for retirement. So that would be one of the first things that I like to tell people to do. And then we've got clients who put, as much money as they can into retirement, and they're happy with that. We also have clients who put some money into retirement, but then they also invest heavily in real estate or brokerage accounts or even buying other franchises, things like that, because that's just what they are interested in. And it aligns with their life vision and their goals and what they want to spend their time doing. And so, the rest of it just depends on your goals. But I think that, to sum up, if I could say, once you're making enough money to pay yourself consistently and you're sitting there, what next? I would encourage you to think beyond just checking the box and showing up and treating your business like a job, and really asking yourself the question of, how can I use this income that I'm generating in my business to make more money faster, to hit my wealth building goals faster, so that, hey, maybe in 5 years, which is not an unreasonable time frame, in 5 years, I could have enough money invested to fully be work optional, meaning you don't have to show up at your laptop anymore. You can walk away from your business for months at a time, and it does not impact your ability to continue living your life and to have to worry about paying any bills. How nice would that be? Even if you kept working, just knowing that option is there. I've got to tell you, that's where I'm at right now, and it is freeing to know that I have that to fall back on versus saying I've got to make this work or I have to go back and get a salary job. That is just not a mindset that I find is productive for a lot of people. So hopefully that helps you answer the question of, I'm paying myself regularly from my business. Now what do I do? And if you'd like some help figuring out what your next step is to how to allocate your money, or assessing whether you have enough money set aside for your emergency funds, or whether there's a way that you could optimize your taxes and retirement strategy, anything like that, go to trustyoungco.com/financial health, because we will help you assess that by completing a financial health assessment. If you have any questions about particular areas when it comes to allocating your money to saving or investing as a business owner, drop them in the comments under this video over on YouTube so that I can see if there's other podcast episodes I can record to answer those questions. All right, that's it, y'all, for this one. I'll see you back next week.